Hey Scorpios, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your month of May general reading here. So about your meditation, I heard I just need to be on land for a little bit. I just need to be a land animal for a bit. I just need to be on the shore, okay? So I saw the Scorpio collective by the seaside, you don't say, and I saw the tide kind of roll out and then you willing it to stay there. And I saw you really relishing in taking on a lot of the energy and the sentiment of an earth sign. So let's talk about earth signs. I literally saw you stretched out and loving the heat of the sun and the dryness, right? I feel like you're due for a break from either your, the emotional overwhelm that I'm picking up on, right? And that can mean a lot of different things. It could be just you've been feeling very clicked into your emotions, feeling a lot, especially those empaths or intuitives that I'm clicking in with, of which, Scorpio makes up many intuitives for sure. I just get this feeling of like, I just need to be on solid land, for a while. It feels like you've cried a lot of tears, or you have comforted others while they cried a lot of tears, or you've just been feeling energetically, empathically even, the tears and, deep feelings and emotions even, right? Even if it's not literal tears, the deep emotions of the collective energies. And you're like, okay, I'm going to tag out. Some other group tag in here. I'm going to lay here, and I say this with love, but this is what it came through, and it was actually quite comical but beautiful. I just need to be a beached whale for a little bit. I need to be a beached whale. I need to be in the sun. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm an earth sign now. Just for now. It feels like you've really been on duty and on call, emotionally and or intuitively, or quite physically, right? On call, and you're just feeling like, you know what? I'm on break. I need to be, land animal. I need to just like feel the sun on my face, and it felt like, you know what? It's really interesting because I definitely am getting that, but I'm also getting a very distinct Libra energy. Libras I associate with butterflies, and that kind of energy, it's that energy of like just feeling there's like a lightness of being, a lightness. It feels like you've lost like 1,000 pounds of emotional weight, or you've shed a lot of emotional weight or to something, and there's this aspect of like, I just need to, it's like this childlike enjoyment of like, I'm gonna be a kid again and let each day inform itself and just enjoy myself. And you might even find yourself being drawn to activities that you loved as a child, or even things like coloring, or which is not a child activity, honey. I color all the time, honey. But anything in that realm of just like simple pleasures and simple enjoyment. It's like you need a break from the heaviness, which is cool. Or it could be you're partaking in artistic endeavors that provide that relief, where either you're writing it down on the page, or you sing and you feel better, whatever that is. Okay, did you just come up in your own reading? And this is for you too. All right, let's talk. Hello, my golden eagles. You guys are eagles, right? You're associated with eagles and phoenixes, right? So this is beautiful, this eagle energy here. This is exactly what I've been feeling for you guys. Where, remember when I said I felt that Libra energy and the butterfly, it's air energy, right? And even air sign here. Eagles very much represent being able to see things from a 3D perspective in order to gain greater clarity. But I really like that this kind of looks like this eagle is, because this is very like sort of a military-esque energy for me too, where it's like they're flying down to detonate this, bomb, as it were. Sorry to get graphic, but bomb, as it were, with their body. It's like they're swooping down to kind of like save the day, as it were. And I'm hearing like atomic energy, right? It feels like you are channeling a lot of this in a really productive way. And it doesn't, why am I hearing, okay. It doesn't matter what the outcome is of whatever work, and I mean this in terms of whatever work this is that you're undertaking. You could be working on it, fixing up a car. You could be writing a book. You could be, just abstract painting in your garage. But it doesn't really matter. You could be knitting. It really, really doesn't matter, okay? You could be editing something. It's really about the process of it over the product. Process over product. Process over product. Anyone who's listening to this and has been more product oriented in the past, this is a flip of that. And it's a change around that. You know, this is especially pertinent for anyone who's in a business or an industry where there is an emphasis on the product. We don't care about your process. We want the product. We're worried about sales figures and how, you know, what audience this is going to reach, and content, results and results and results. And this feels like a really distinct flipping of that. Okay? You know, there's also this feeling of independence here, but I'm really getting this feeling of like allowing others, whether this is because this eagle also represents a deep connection to the divine and spirit messages, okay? So some of you guys could be channeling messages from spirit. The veil is quite thin right now. Or just kind of relinquishing control to feeling the need or feeling the burden. I feel like a burden to either be there for other people or take on a lot of extra responsibility, or this burden to be overly productive right now. And it's like, you're like, you know what? No, because I saw this image of you on dry land, and then using the month of May to just allow yourself to be out of your element in that way, finding great relief in doing so, and then coming out the other side of it, you know, just really super grounded, more fully realized, and ready to jump back into your natural habitat of the water. Okay? So you got the frog at the bottom of the deck. This is about emotional detoxification, so I'm completely obsessed that this came up. Just emotional detoxification, right? That's what this is. This is a release, right? And I feel like a lot of the clue and the implication that I'm picking up here is that a lot of this release is to be found, yes, in engaging in activities that take you out of your head and just really are cathartic in nature. I'm hearing catharsis. There's been a lot of pathos. Okay, they're taking me to like these Greek terms, dramatic terms. Okay, so pathos, oh my God, how clever is this? Is someone in the theater or something? Okay. The eagle is pathos. Pathos is a buildup of emotion. It's extreme emotion. It's when, you know, Romeo finds Juliet and thinks that she's dead, and it's that emotion that he feels as he's, you know, throwing himself on her body and lamenting before he drinks the poison, right? Kind of dark, but let's go there. The catharsis is the frog and the release of that. The catharsis is after Romeo and Juliet, you know, then Juliet wakes up, she drinks the poison too, they both die, and the catharsis comes when the play is over, when the tragedy is over. The catharsis in that context is when the audience leaves the theater. Okay? Ooh, why do I feel like that just like really hit in a very particular way for someone? Sometimes the catharsis doesn't happen in the story. Sometimes it doesn't happen in the denouement. Sometimes the catharsis is when it's over. That's interesting. Anyway, this is the pathos and this is the catharsis. This is the releasing, right? The releasing of it. And allowing yourself to just engage in activities that induce in you a childlike sense of wonder and comfort, okay? Seeing chocolate chip cookies. Yum. Okay. Oh my Lord. Okay, 2 for 1. Let's talk about this. First of all, your second card is Justice, that of Libra energy. And I feel Libra energy all over this reading, interestingly enough. You could have actual Libras in your life, but this is also about things being exactly as they're meant to be, and fairness and balance. Okay? All right. First, we got 10 of Wands. This is exactly the pathos that I'm talking about. Remember what I just said about sometimes the catharsis comes when the play is over and when the audience is leaving the theater? That's what I'm picking up with this. 10 of Wands traditionally, remember, the Wands rule the realm of passion, desire, and artistry, right? Forward movement. This is what happens at the end of the Wand cycle before we go back to the beginning of it, and it's the Ace of Wands, right? Which is that initial burst of fervor and energy and inspiration. This also speaks about actually moving, like moving homes, moving from one place to another, moving realities. This is what I'm feeling from you guys, and why I saw you guys as, you know, that beached whale. And again, the beached whale I feel like it has such like a negative connotation. I don't mean it like that. That's not how it feels to me. It feels really beautiful about daring to step out of your own element of the water sign that you are, and just let yourself be on land for a while, right? I feel like that has to do with the Libra energy too. This is a maximum amount of effort, and you're being asked to just lay your wands down and let someone else like take over the steering wheel of responsibility in whatever context that resonates or takes. Some of you guys have people in your life who can do this. Let them do it, especially if they're an earth sign, okay? or an air sign. I mean, the signs aren't as important, but there's something about it here that I feel like there's someone, you know, that you can kind of, you know, hand off the hat to and let them take on a little bit heavier of the load without judging yourself around it. Your time will come to resume the responsibility about that. Why not take this time now as the energy is presenting itself and work with the energy at hand as opposed to pushing against it or resisting it? We're trying to figure it out. Something's coming to mind. Confusion arises when we put too much pressure on ourselves to figure something out. Live in the unknown and be where you are, okay? Justice. Justice. You know, this is really beautiful. This is number 11 here. You know, those two pillars. That's interesting. I'm very much drawn to her fabulous platform sneaks. I feel like the point of this is that, again, imagine she's in a puddle. Her feet aren't going to get as wet because she's wearing platforms, these two pillars here. There's really something here about allowing yourself to ride on top of things, again, with that eagle, with that aerial perspective. And I feel like the way in with that is allowing yourself to play as much as possible and to give your brain and your emotional life a break. You need a break. And I can't even emphasize that enough. You need a break. And whatever form that takes. This could be just allowing yourself to just like watch, you know, movies that do nothing for your intellectual core, but just like are just fun and take you out of this Nine of Swords situation and just this lightness of being that wants to come through to you. And it's about allowing yourself to reset so that you can rise like the phoenix that you are. The reset before the rise. Okay? Ace of Swords. Why do I feel like you guys get Ace of Swords all the time? You know, Ace of Swords is that, you know, sword of truth, honey. This is represents writers, great ideas, momentum. Remember when I said I saw you guys kind of letting it all go so that you could rise up more fully formed and really take on the world and change things? That's what the Ace of Swords is communicating to me in this context as well. Allow this time to gestate. Why do I want gestation? Okay. Remember when I said writing a book or coloring or any activity that gets you into that vortex space without judging what you're doing? Again, I want to say this over and over. It just feels so important. It's about the process, not the product. Okay? Doesn't matter if anyone's going to read what you're writing. It doesn't matter what audience it's going to reach. It doesn't matter if, you know, whatever you're working on or working on creatively or whatever have you, is ever going to bring you any kind of income or make a difference in any type of way to anyone else but you. It's the act of doing it. That's what separates us from our animal brothers and sisters, right? We're creators. So use this time to create. It's about the act of it, okay? 10 of Wands. I'm seeing an Etsy store. Just popped in. Etsy store. Okay. 5 of Swords here. So, with the 10 of Wands. I want to point out something. You see the ocean here, and then we have this 5 of Swords, you know, shady looking dude standing right here like, huzzah and hooray. You know, the way that you go about asking for what you need makes all the difference in how it's received. Okay? We can all be cutting with our words. I mean, as human beings, we can be cutting, but some of us more than others. And Scorpios, you know, you may or may not know that you can have a bit of a reputation for communicating things in a way that are brutally honest. Emphasis on the brutal. And there's this aspect of like, well, it was honest though. Like, I'm just telling you like how it is. But the thing is, the person that you're communicating to and with doesn't receive the memo in the way that you intend because of the delivery. The best way to get your message across and communicate lovingly yet honestly to those around you and to yourself is to just give it a rest and be with yourself and allow yourself to revert back to your childhood pleasures. Okay? Because it feels a bit intense. It feels a bit like the bloom is off the rose. Give yourself the time to, oh, I didn't even notice that. See how she's in the desert and then we have the land here? Let yourself just be, you know, outside of your natural element and just be on land. And I'm hearing take on Libra energy or earth sign. It's interesting. It's interesting. Allow yourself to get a little silly and have fun. it won't always be this way, but it's a moment in time where you have this opportunity, and you can either enjoy getting to where you're going or push against the tide. It's really up to you, isn't it? Page of Cups. Back to this seaside situation here. Remember what I said about that beach whale and the fish is about to flop onto the dry land? I'm obsessed. So this is with the Justice here, right? This is exactly what I was saying. The Page of Cups is a younger child energy. So I love that it came up in this way. You know, the Page of Cups is very much about things that fuel you emotionally, but it's also artistic endeavors, right? Because fish represent fertility and creativity, right? I'm really hearing that the way that it's like a gift. Allow yourself to receive the gift of just being in enjoyment, right? In joy, IN-JOY, being in your joy, right? And I keep hearing it. Let yourself to revert back to like a child, like, you know, state of wonder, like an endless state of wonder. I'm seeing a show that probably a lot of you don't know. I think it was a Canadian show, but it's coming up on the off chance that one or two of you may resonate for. There's a show called Warehouse 13, and I think it was on Sci-Fi or something. And they had this tagline of like, world of endless wonder. And that's what I'm hearing for you. Let yourself be in and exist within your own world of endless wonder. I feel like there's this need to just connect back in with really what brings you joy on an immediate basis. Not esoterically, not in umbrella terms, but on an immediate basis. What brings you to a place of being in your joy? Sometimes even discerning what that is can feel like a chore, right? Observe yourself. I feel like the eagle is saying too, observe yourself around that. What do you do when you look up and 5 hours have passed? Observe yourself and take note, okay? I'm feeling a lot of people have been in an experiencer place, like being in a place of an experiencer. You're being asked to kind of step outside of that, observe yourself, and just approach your experiences from a place of joy as opposed to vigilance, okay? It feels a little overly vigilant. Okay. First of all, you have the Fool at the bottom. This is another child, you know, childhood and young energy here as well, okay? I feel like I'm also connecting with a group of you that had to grow up, for whatever reason, had to grow up a little fast. And I feel like there's something being activated during the month of May that's like my inner child is being activated. I had to grow up too fast, and now I'm just like, I need to revert for a little bit, okay? For a few, yeah. You have the Two of Swords to clarify the Ace of Swords. Hello. So Two of Swords is taking an active time out to gain more information before moving forward. And I like that it's the 1 to the 2. There's something in that, right? Sometimes the true catharsis is when the play is over and you leave the theater. There's something about that, okay? But this can be just like inner conflict too. But here's kind of what I love about the Two of Swords. It's all about the context and how you choose to see it. So when it's a minor arcana like this is versus a major, like the Justice key, right? By the way, your only major here, your majors denote destined or fated events. They're not changeable. Versus if you see something in a minor arcana that you don't like, you can change it. And the only major you have here is Justice, which means everything is exactly as it should be. Something to that, okay? And doesn't your birthday season start right after Libra's? Okay, so what I love about the Two of Swords here and the fact that it's coming up as a minor for you is that this can, depending on how you approach it, this can either be inner conflict or inner peace. Inner conflict or inner peace. The difference between the two is releasing control, I feel, and also remember, confusion arises when we put too much pressure on ourselves to figure something out or to have the answers. Allow yourself to live in the unknown right now. Allow yourself to dare to embrace the unknown in a completely new and fully realized way. Okay? Yeah. Let's go ahead and get a Goddess Oracle for you. Beautiful Scorpios. Oh my God, this is exactly what I was saying. Okay, let me take both of them here. Okay. Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. This is what I was picking up at the very beginning of this reading. There are people, or at least somebody, around you in your network group, or your family, your friends, your loved ones, or partner, or whatever that is for you. You can allow them to take the steering wheel and help you out and kind of take the lead and do the majority of the adulting right now. Allow yourself this. It's not going to be forever. And again, it's the energy that's here for you. So you can either fight against the tide or allow yourself to roll with it and not judge yourself in the process, right? We don't have to know the reason that the energy is in the room or what it will lead to roll with it. Point blank, period. Now we also got, and I love this, Aphrodite, inner goddess. Awaken the goddess within you, and it doesn't matter if you're male, female, whatever have you. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. Does this not just say it all? I also love that Aphrodite came up when I was talking about Romeo and Juliet, right? It's really beautiful. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. Now, if you're a male energy or male presenting energy watching this, the goddess energy isn't literal in terms of gender. It really is about allowing yourself to receive and be your own mother and take care of yourself and really allow someone else in whatever form that takes to kind of take on some of the weight and responsibility. But in order for that to be the case, you got to ask for what you need. And again, it is in the delivery. Coming from a place of honesty, absolutely, but also speaking from your heart. Okay? I'm obsessed with this. I just saw 2112 on the timer, which is a mirror image as well, which I really, really like. My beautiful Scorpios, this was your May general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated with and for you. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I live for reading your comments. It's my favorite part of this whole thing, to be quite honest with you. I really love it. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.